Hi friends, this is Rider, and today we are going to do oil change for 2014 Lexus RX350. So in this video we'll go through a detailed overview of how it is done. So in order to get underneath the car, you need to somehow lift the car. I used a ramp here. That was pretty easy for me to drive onto the ramp. You can also use jack to lift up the car, whichever is easy. So the ramp that I used is Magnum, and I also bought a trolley to go underneath pretty easily. I can slide through. So let's take a look underneath the vehicle. The oil filter is right in front of the vehicle on the passenger side. And then the tools that you need is obviously the oil filter and some pliers and synthetic oil. First you need to remove the oil filter. The oil filter that I bought came with this plastic thing that pre-filters the oil from the oil filter. Once that is all done, we need to remove the cap, the oil filter holder, the can itself. Using the pliers that I had, I was not able to remove it, and I think it's the angle with which I was trying, and then I went ahead and bought this kind of a oil filter cap that is adjustable with the spring. So the shop that I went to did not had 64 millimeters, so I bought this, which is adjustable for 62 to 72. Using that tool, I was able to remove the oil filter cap. Now let's go ahead and remove the nut to drain the oil pan. It's a 14 millimeter socket, and wear a gloves so that it won't get into your hands. As the oil is getting drained from the oil pan, we can clean up the oil filter cap. It was pretty much dirty, so I took some time to clean that up perfectly. My oil filter also came with two rubber gaskets, one on the outside and one that goes the small and the big ones. So the small one goes underneath and the big one goes on top of that ring. I also applied a little oil on top of the gasket just to get that tight sealing. This is the bigger gasket that I removed, and it's time to clean up that side of the oil filter cap. Put the new gasket back into that back into place, and then again just do some oil touch up just to get that tight sealing. Now let's get back to put the actual oil filter. You can see how dirty the old one is, if you look at that comparison. It's really old and dirty. I'll try to put some oil in there just to make sure that there's enough oil in the oil filter so the engine doesn't dry when I start up. So the engine doesn't run dry when I start up. So I put a little more oil in there. I think the cup takes half a quart of oil. Fill it in as long as it's not coming out, just so that the oil filter is completely soaked in oil. Now let's get underneath to put this thing. So you just screw back in. It should go in without any trouble, just should turn automatically. So I was able to tighten by hand quite a bit. I think the play is due to the gasket and the oil in there. So once it is completely hand tightened, I just tighten it with the wrench. Just, you don't have to over tighten it because it just sits there pretty good. Once that is taken care, I also tighten the nut back in, and now it's time to pour the oil. So open the hood. So my Lexus is 2014 model, and as per the manual, it takes 6.5 quarts of oil. So I already poured in 0.5 quarts in the oil filter cup. So the remaining you just put in the engine oil directly. Resetting the oil filter clock is fairly easy. So after you turn on your dashboard, press the odometer to make sure you see trip A, and then turn off the car. And before you turn on again, press and hold the auto trip meter button on the left underneath the steering, and then turn on the display. Keep the auto trip button on hold until it flashes to 0. Once that is done, you are all set. So when you start next time, you won't see the oil maintenance reminder anymore. Hey, that's all. So if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel for more videos like this.